Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am one of your hosts, Ryan Doze, joined by Faz and Eric to talk about a fantastic issue of Mortal Thor, and we are also going to be talking about the latest issue of Doctor Strange, both two very Asgard-heavy stories that we are I mean, like we got those fantasy vibes. There's a lot of sword fighting in this. It's a classic Asgard Thor vibes in this episode. So, Baz, let's start off with your first impressions of these books before we jump into them proper. What was this like as a reading experience,
Now,
man?
before we even get there, listeners, just so you know,
Oh,
we're now experimenting with YouTube. So if you're listening to this on a podcast platform and you'd like to actually see us while we're discussing stuff, please go check out the ATB YouTube page. We're starting to try to make it work. If you like it, that's great. If you hate it, let us know. If you think our faces look stupid, we're so sorry. We just thought we would try it. But on the other hand,
we're stuck with
like
them, though.
circling back though, I loved this issue. I really like the pacing that we're getting of 3 street level, 1 Asgard, 3 street level, 1 Asgard. And it's allowing Al to kind of do the time skip thing that Ultimates is doing, where you get to come in and see kind of what it's at the snapshot, and then you leave it away for a little while, and then you see where he's at next. And I really shocking. Al Ewing writes good comics, and the guest art is excellent for this issue. So all around, I'm quite happy.
Juan Cabal, you brilliant man. Eric, what did you first impressions of like the reading experience going into this Mortal Thor, Doctor Strange? Like so many vibes, man.
Yeah, my first impression of these two books is that we sure are getting our money's worth with these, because both of these books leave me feeling like we've covered so much ground. We got so much done in these. I mean, this Tales of Asgard, we're going all over the place, and in Strange, we are visiting multiple realms, having different like entire scenes, different sections of the issue. So we're getting a whole heck of a lot. It's not just a one note, one scene kind of snapshot.
Yeah, I agree. I love what you said there, man. But like, we are getting a lot of bang for our buck with these stories, especially like if you couple them together, it's like, oh, this is kind of like a 9 realms like double feature in a way, because we're not even like in the golden realm for either of these stories, and we're just jumping around like to all these fun places. But we're gonna start off the episode by talking about Mortal Thor number 8. Sadly, it is a tragic tale of Asgard, but there's a lot to get there along the way. So if you're checking us out on YouTube and this is maybe the first time you've seen our faces doing this show, which kind of sounds crazy because we are hundreds of episodes into this. That's so nuts. We generally give a breakdown, a detailed some details of the issue, and then do a kind of bird's eye view, an eagle eye view of the issue. There's a lot of details in here, so we will pick at them afterwards. But yeah, let's dig into this story.
And also, listeners, there will be spoilers.
Yes,
we've gotten away from saying it on the podcast feed because our listeners know, but for you new YouTube people, we are going to spoil the heck out of these comics, and we're probably going to swear a lot too, but we're going to try not to because of monetization. Ryan loves money, and it's important to not swear so he can continue to have the money.
Swearing,
dirty old capitalist. But you're right, Baz. I hadn't even thought about that actually. Are you going to be able to do it?
I mean, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to channel the inner super Faz and say like gosh and stuff instead as we go. We're going to see how it goes.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't say darn it. That seems a little hard for him, but like yeah.
Okay. This is Mortal Thor number 8, written by Al Ewing and guest art by Juan Cabal. I loved seeing Juan Cabal show up in this issue. Faz, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's done some Avengers stuff.
I don't know what he's done,
recently?
but this I really enjoyed the art though. I don't know what he's done before. Let me take a look, but he's done some Spider-Man, Guardians, Wolverine. He's all over the place, but
kind of a jack of all trades, Juan of all trades.
I would say he's like a Jack O'Hare of all trades. Yeah.
Black Jack O'Hare of all trades. That's fantastic. Color artist is Jesus Abertov, who also shows up in a lot of different Marvel books. And letter art our personal favorite letterer of all time. Yes, this is one of those nerdy comic book shows where we have a favorite letterer, and his name is Joe Sabino. He goes by VC's Joe Sabino because he's just that extra cool. And the main cover was an Alex Ross cover. Got a bunch of different awesome guest variant covers as well. And this story is wow. There's a lot of details in this.
Good
So,
luck, my
Baz,
friend. Yeah,
I
good
will
luck.
do my
I'll
best.
jump in.
So, oh, I know. We start off with being in Uller's cabin, where Athena and Zeus are there still. They are still guests of Asgard, and we witness a conversation between Amora and Uller about this bow that, once shot, cannot miss. So whatever it is shooting at, it will hit. And at the beginning of this issue, we see Amora shoot the arrow, and progressively throughout the issue, we see the arrow flying throughout the 9 realms. So she fires this arrow, and I loved the big splash page of her firing the arrow. It was a fantastic piece of artwork. Then we jump to our A story, the one that was most alluded to in the solicitations, of Magni and Blackjack O'Hare on Jotunheim having a conversation about who should rule Jotunheim now that there's been this power vacuum. I find it kind of interesting, guys, that throughout Asgard and the 9 realms, there's a lot of power vacuums now. Not just because Thor is deceased, but also because the people that used to rule these realms have not been around for a while.
And listeners and viewers, if you're wondering why that is, I'd recommend checking out our chat with the king currently, the Al Father, Al Ewing, where he discussed whether or not he's a fan of monarchy and whether or not his goal is to put a king on each throne by the time this is all said and done.
Good reference to a fantastic episode. We got to speak to Al Ewing. That's insane.
Look, if we're doing YouTube, we got to get back to the old style plugs, guys. You got to be aware of us. You got to know where we are. Check out our things.
Oh man, we're gonna be just going hard at promotion. I love that. So we see Magni and Blackjack O'Hare having this conversation with a ice giant witch who says that she knows of someone that should rule on Jotunheim's throne, but there's a bit of a problem. They are held somewhere where an ice giant really can't go. So this sends Magni and Blackjack O'Hare on an adventure to Muspelheim, the land of fire. And a fantastic action sequence of them invading Muspelheim, fighting all these fire beasts, and they get to the throne of Muspelheim that Magni even says was once held by Surtur and then his daughter, the Queen of Cinders, and now it also lies empty. Now, throughout this entire two-person invasion of Muspelheim, Magni has been using this really awesome, like Elsa from Frozen inspired sword.
Yeah.
And when they get to the throne, the sword transforms into the ice giant witch that we met earlier on in the issue. So this was kind of a really cool, fun twist. She unlocks a ancient prison that has been holding this other entity, and she is the goddess of the hearth's fire, which is, from her look, she doesn't look like a fire giant. She's much different. She's much more like outwardly beautiful. She's got this flowing hair.
She's got like Persephone vibes if we were to compare it to Greek stuff.
Yeah. Good pickup.
Watched Hadestown recently. I'm all locked in.
Oh, we got a lot of fans of Hadestown in this house. I've never seen it. I don't. Okay, that was a little aggressive.
If it's not Norse mythology, I don't want it, says Ryan. Anyway, continue.
I'm glad you picked up on that. So we witnessed this exchange of thrones where the ice giant queen is going to rule on the throne of Muspelheim, and the goddess of the hearthfire is going to rule in Jotunheim. A power exchange, something to, as the ice giant witch says, balance the powers to both cool down Muspelheim and heat up Jotunheim a little bit of balance, a little bit of talent exchange in that. And we revisit the arrow that's been flying around the 9 realms. It shatters itself into Muspelheim, and sadly, Eric, gather yourself, because Blackjack O'Hare dies. being shot with this arrow that Amora released earlier on in the issue. We cut back to Amora, Uller, and Athena having a more heated exchange of words, and Amora flattens Athena because Athena apparently has been just talking too much mess for Amora to deal with, knocks her down, and Amora is drawn in some very foreboding, intense ways as she says she has more plans. Her plans are to get Magni on the throne because if she's going to take advantage of the all power, she needs to be all mother. And Uller warns her that the wheel is still turning, a phrase we haven't heard as much in Mortal Thor. And we then cut back for our final panel of Magni holding Blackjack O'Hare's now lifeless body and crying out. And yeah, it was truly a tragic tale of Asgard. Um, Eric, I feel like you get the first crack at this, almost like sharing something at a funeral. Would you
Oh
like to say any
man,
words about our dearly departed?
poor Blackjack. I kind of saw it coming because Magni doesn't have a lot of friends. You know,
Yeah.
Blackjack's been there from the whole time. Blackjack was looking for a himbo muscle man ever since Apex was left his side, and now Magni was the new strong guy in that equation. I love Blackjack's little gadgets. He's a cosmic hero. He comes from the same basically origin story as Rocket Raccoon, the same first appearance. So he's got tech that keeps him safe from the lava and little snow gear for his winter hat and stuff like that. But he will be missed, and it's quite the sacrifice to make it. So I mean, something big had to happen to tug at Magni's heart to make him presumably want to, I guess, assume the throne. I mean, that was Blackjack was making comments in here like, "You're never going to be on the throne as long as I'm around," basically.
Yeah.
And so Amora had to deal with that barrier. So it's just too bad, our little buddy. I wanted to. I was researching some things with this comic, and I accidentally earned a bachelor's degree in etymology. If you're interested in some of the names for the
You are getting the full Across the Bifrost experience today. Eric, please, we would love to hear.
All right, so this Jotun wizard queen person, their name I believe is pronounced Charva. I think the TJA is like a cha.
Cool.
They are a wisdom keeper. This name was very difficult to find online, but it does exist. I found it in a 2025 article from Lund University called Words of Civilizations. In the article, a northern Scandinavian reindeer herder is giving the meaning of their native words for snow. And there are 323 different names for different kinds of snow. Some of the examples of snow are area where reindeer dig holes in snow in order to find food. There's a name for humid snow, and there's a name for snow too hard for reindeer to dig through. And so this name of snow, Charva, means frozen crust on snow. And so that is the etymology of this name for this Jotun wizard queen. So I thought that was fascinating.
Did you figure out the etymology of the other girl?
Arin?
Yeah.
Arin is a little bit more straightforward. It is the Icelandic word for fireplace. It comes from the Old Norse word for the long fire pit in the center of a longhouse. So basically the big rectangular fire pit that ran the whole length of the Viking longhouses. Over time, the word shifted to mean the raised stone hearth. And now it is just basically synonymous with hearth or fireplace.
Oh, so
Makes perfect sense.
They gifted Jotunheim a fireplace. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's very friendly. It's a friendly kind of fire.
Yeah, friendly fire. Yeah, that is something that Jotuns do love. That's true.
Bez, what were I love that, Eric. God, always have an Eric Teskey handy, everybody. And it's just like, hey, here's a fun thing that you weren't going to go look up yourself.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now you know. Baz, what were some of your opening impressions of Mortal Thor #8?
So I also did some research, not in the way that Eric did. I consulted our local, and by local I mean Floridian, Amora the Enchantress expert, to see what she thought about this issue. And Alex, the Asgardian Enchantress, did weigh in. These were her words. I'm going to need to change one. You guys can guess which one it was as we get in there, okay? And to quote, she 360 no-scoped the rabbit. Fudge that rabbit.
Oh
That's
no!
what she said.
Alex, that is hardcore.
So then
360
I told her that she
no-scoped.
cheated and that she obviously used auto aim in order to hit the rabbit, and she got very offended and said
Wow.
she's not a hacker, she was not hacking, this is slander, she earned this. But obviously we know she used auto aim. She created a bow that would auto aim for her. But Alex quite loved this. I really like what we're getting with Amora here. I really like the reference to realms that aren't realms,
Yes.
because we got to get back to Utgard somehow. And it feels like it's shaping up to be that Amora is going to be the one that reopens that bridge so that we can finish whatever's going on over there. Because last time we saw them, the bridge was destroyed and it was just kind of an afterthought to be dealt with into the future, right? So this might be our way in. Now, Ryan, you had said something about her wanting to install Magni on the throne. I'm not convinced that's what's going on here. She might be wanting to take him out to get the all power and also become all mother herself so that she can then sit on the throne. But we'll have to see. Like, it's a beautiful issue. I'm very sad for Eric's best friend. I think it's very funny that in context, Blackjack existed for like 4 issues of comics, and his whole character was just, look at what good friends he is with Magni and how lost he would be without him, just to see him die in the 4th one. I think it's fun. I also think because it's a video, for those of you on YouTube, look at this beautiful Alex Ross cover. You need one. If you don't have it, look at that. Look at that beautiful head. I don't know who he is. He kind of looks like some riff on Beta Ray Bill, the founding Avenger.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see, you know?
Someone's going to see that and be like, idiot, it's clearly Thor.
So listeners, go read the end of the Immortal Thor run if you haven't. You YouTubers or people using YouTube Shorts, if Ryan figures that out. Please go read Immortal Thor and find out what we're talking about and why we're saying that Beta Ray Bill is the founding Avenger.
Yeah, why would this guy be the comp? Why would that be the comp, Faz?
Because, Ryan,
I always like to keep Beta handy.
you always want him in your hand, just in case. You want to have a Beta in your hand no matter what.
Well, we're not going to curse, but we are going to keep that nonsense up. Fantastic.
I didn't say anything that YouTube would have a problem with. Do you not like your Funko Pop Beta Ray Bill?
I do, and occasionally I like to hold it in my hand. It's got good weight to it.
Yeah, that's important. It's important. And one of your favorite times is when Beta Ray Will is around you and you can physically be in contact with him, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. The lost member of our panel of Asgardian weirdos tonight. One thing I wanted to mention, because it was my favorite part of the issue, was the sword that Magni uses. The sword of solid snow. The fact that it looks like it can. Magni even says it's like it can change sizes. Like it's giant anime sword girl, but it's Magni, and Magni is like a He-Man, muscle bound dude. I love that Blackjack, when they're in Jotunheim, even says like, "Oh, so like just this is t-shirt weather for you." And Magni's like, "I have no need for that," and Blackjack's bundled up. But then he takes a little sliver of Jotunheim into Muspelheim, and I just loved the action of this. The last Tales of Asgard we got with Ulick was my favorite because Ulick is my favorite Thor villain, but this issue kicked way more, let's say, butt this time.
There you go. That was good. Proud of you.
Yeah, no, I'm growing as a person.
Yeah. Good
so
gosh,
I loved
Ryan.
that action, and then when the sword turned into the ice switch, I was like, well, maybe I'm dumb, but that I did not see that coming. I was like, that is fantastic. I loved that whole like the weapon itself, because Magni doesn't really have a key. He doesn't really have a signature weapon. He doesn't have a Mjolnir.
I mean, I would say his signature weapon is Mjolnir, but for that, listeners, you're going to need to get in with our Journey into Jurgens that we're doing also on the podcast. We are currently reading the Dan Jurgens run, and at some point, Magni will be in that run. So if you guys like this red-haired Thor knockoff and you want to see more about him, pay attention to other episodes, whether it's on YouTube or on our beautiful podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to have you there along for the ride. Journey into Jurgens. That's what we call it. We've never called it anything else.
I love marketing Faz. Marketing Faz is my favorite.
That's how we went from 0 to 7 listeners, Ryan. We got to keep it up.
Gosh, that's funny. So I really like the sword. That was my favorite part.
The sword is cool. The
And
weapons are cool because I like the bow.
Yeah.
And I love that Al Ewing over explains everything because that speaks to me. I love when he's like, you think this bow's cool? Let me explain exactly how it works. Look, if you draw it and you release, it'll go to the target. But if you put it down, then it'll like disappear. And it's like explaining all the mechanics of this brand new weapon that we're maybe only going to use one time. But I appreciate
it's just like
that.
Scourge's axe, right? He was like, what if we put a huge amount of detail into it for 3 issues? And it's like, all right, I'm in. Thank you, please.
Is it going to do anything important? No, it's going to just be an axe, but like you're going to want to know all these backstories
and
about
like
the
you
axe.
want to know how it hurts him to use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's cool. All right, good stuff. I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in.
So it's funny because Al Ewing's rule of cool logic is so different than like a like a Michael Bay movie would be, where it's just like, we got big explosions because big explosions are cool, man. Al Ewing is like, not only am I going to give you something cool, I'm going to give it a Tolkien level of lore.
Yeah.
Only to use it like twice.
But also like,
and it'll still be badass.
But he'll use it, and then 15 years later, he'll be writing an extraordinarily unrelated comic, and he'll be like, someone found the Enchantress's bow from Mortal Thor #8, and then they'll use it to kill somebody, and it's like, oh my gosh, how did he? Or sorry, to unalive somebody, and then we'll be able to go from there and see how it goes. Right? It's very his plans have plans, just like how Enchantress is scheming here. The Allfather is planning for 6 runs after he's done with Thor at Marvel. He wants to have these toys out there for him.
And a lot of that is, you can kind of sense it in our interview we did with him. You can kind of sense it as he's like leaning back. He's like, yeah, no, I just thought, it's like, your spider webs of complexity have spider webs of complexity.
Just look at his Venom stuff, right? Where it's like, what if Al Ewing's doing the new Venom? Sure, yeah, like just Venom? Yeah, just Venom. Don't worry about it. And like a year and a half in, it's like, what if we did an entire giant crossover with every Spider character who's ever lived, and Al Ewing is here running it? Who could have possibly predicted that, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man, I have not read anything with Spiral yet, but did Al create Spiral, or was that like a Joe Kelly thing, or whoever's writing Spider-Man?
That is a research question, so I defer to the Prince of Preparedness.
I'm just curious. I was curious because I like the design of Spiral, even though I don't read Spider-Man. But Eric, is there any other part of the issue that you want to zero in on? We'll give Faz that opportunity too, and then we'll just kind of wrap up our thoughts on Mortal Thor.
Yeah, I think this issue has such a great balance of funny parts. Blackjack is wisecracking, and that juxtaposition of the juxtaposition of him with like the Asgardian gods is a fun mashup. I love there's like really kind of like sentimental and epic, cool, poetic parts when they're talking about a bow is irrevocable. Like when if you're choking somebody out, you can be like, yeah, nah, just kidding. I'm not really going to choke you. But like if you fire a bow at someone, you can't take it back. Like it's on its way there. And so I just thought that was very poetic and cool and a nice way to set this up. So it checks a lot of boxes. It has the makes you think vibes, and it also has just some straight up action, and it has some convoluted lore and everything that you want in a Thor comic. So
everything we want in a Thor comic, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And also like just on the bow, like it shows also that Amora is a woman of action. Like Ullr's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, it can't be undone. And she's like, sorry, I'm already shooting the bow.
She's like, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
And listeners, if you guys want to be people of action, you can consider joining us on Patreon. You can join the Thor Corps for as little as $5 a month. You can support us at the next level, where you can get pre-games, you can get extra opportunities where you get to interact with us. We have special group chats on Discord. You get early versions of each episode with raw audio and now raw video, probably. You'll get to hear some words that can't be said on YouTube and shouldn't be said on Spotify or Apple Music anymore, now that we're trying to be so much better. And you'll get to learn a little bit more about us that way. So if you like what we do here and you're interested in supporting us and want to help us afford this new program we're using to be able to do video, please consider supporting us at the next level on Patreon. If you can't, every listen and every view counts. So please subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Music and wherever else you get podcasts. And we'd love to have you around. Now back to the issue though. I think that all around it's just like Eric said, Blackjack clearly belongs in a Guardians movie or comic book, and
Yeah.
Magni is built for like the pre-modern era of Thor. And having those two things
Yeah.
together results in really fun back and forth, where Blackjack is crack and wise and Magni is regal. It's really cool to see that beside each other, along with just some really cool splash pages. Like we didn't even talk about the fact there's like a dragon that Magni fights at one
Yeah.
point for like no reason other than that, oh yeah, there's a dragon for one panel, right? Or maybe 3 panels, cuts them in half. It's just it's great. I love what they're doing with this. I worry if we don't have these random pacing changes that I'd get bored of the mortal stuff all the time, but having it switch back and forth like this has me locked into both, and I really love having it.
Well, so on that note, Faz, I'll just like wrap up with my last thought of this. I I really like that the 2 issues of Mortal that we've gotten with Magni, they feel like the Thor book that I would default to, where it's Magni is going around the 9 realms and he is being a kingly figure, not a king, but he's being a Thor stand-in that is solving problems.
Mhm.
He is fighting the good fight. He is doing all those things in that fantasy realm, still space, but we get a really cool vibe. He's being a king without being the king. And that was like the thing I was saying so long ago, that I wanted a book where Thor, or in this case, the Thor stand-in, was doing the kingly acts that we always wanted Thor to do, but he was always being drawn back to Midgard.
Mhm.
Magni does not have the connection with Midgard that his dad did.
Mhm.
And that to me is what makes this comic so unique, and what makes Magni so unique is he's trying to prove himself around the 9 realms. And we were talking about splash pages, man. My favorite splash page was when he sticks the snow sword into the ground before the throne of Muspelheim, and like his cape is billowing, and I just I thought especially Jesus Bertov did a fantastic coloring job there,
Mhm.
making it look like Mjolnir. Like if Mjolnir was lighting up with lightning, that's kind of the effect that it would be like showing back on Thor's skin. And I thought that effect was fantastically rendered in that panel. That was my favorite panel of the issue. Yeah. Guys, any final thoughts about Mortal Thor number 8?
The big thing I just want to talk about is we lost a Thor legend recently in this last month. Sal Buscema has made his way across the Rainbow Bridge, and I think that it's worth mentioning, especially because it's in the "If They Be Wordy" letters section.
Yeah.
Al pens a touching tribute to him, and he's one of the best. He worked with Walt during one of the best runs of all time. Friend of the show, Walt Simonson. Um, Losing Sal is tough, and his work on Thor is immeasurably important to the character that Thor is today. And I think it's worth mentioning that we'll see you on the other side when we're also beyond the Bifrost, my friend. But thank you for your service and what you've done for Thor.
Some great issues of Thor were done by that man. So thanks for plugging that. I kind of forgotten that was in the If They Be
I'm
Wordy
hitting
section.
all the plugs today. Now, next month, listeners will tell you what the If They Be Wordy section's called. We're not calling it this time out of respect for Sal, but next time we'll get a cool name for it. Eric, any final thoughts you want to add?
No, I got it.
All right.
Blackjack.
So
Blackjack
brief-
R.I.P.
real briefly, this is the solicitation for next month's issue of the Mortal Thor.
Ooh.
We're back on Midgard. We're back with Sigurd. There's a new threat. Radiation can pass through solid walls. Radiation destroys human tissue. Radiation cannot be hit with a piece of wood or metal. Sigurd Jarlson is only a human. Dr. Chen Lu, the radioactive man, is not. Somewhere in the city, a man with a hammer faces a fight he cannot win. So obviously we are going back to Midgard with Sigurd, and we're continuing the gauntlet that he is running, because the Minotaur is not really pleased with Sigurd at this point. And we see Chen Lu, which is an interesting, like the solicitation says, guys, it's an interesting fight for Sigurd because he is this sounds so dumb. He is a radioactive man.
He's a
Like,
radioactive man.
big old
He's a
radioactive
man.
man. He's a man. he's not. Remember, Faz, from our recent
I was gonna
Beyond the
say
Bifrost.
he's not a bat. He's a
Batman is
man.
just a man.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it! Batman is not a man.
Yeah. Radioactive Man is not a man, and Sigurd is just a guy. So we'll have to see what happens here.
Yeah, he is in a hazmat suit on the Alex Ross cover, which is like, thank God, man, or else you'd be microwaving in your own juices.
Yeah.
But I could have not said that.
I remove swearing, and you just get gross, Ryan. This episode. That's
it was
changed.
very
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it. Any other final thoughts on Mortal Thor before we jump into Doctor Strange number 4? Let's do it. Doctor Strange number 4. If you are just coming to us on YouTube, the reason why we're covering Doctor Strange is because this most recent run of Doctor Strange comics, written by Derek Landy, in the aftermath of Stephen losing the title of Sorcerer Supreme to Doctor Doom forever ago, he is in Asgard. He initially went there as a refugee, but now he has become the Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard. And there's a itty bitty problem that Stephen kind of stepped in, where a ancient elven sorcerer named Verboten has been awakened, and he has gathered up an army of scythes, which are dark alternates of the potential that people could have been. It's been a really cool mechanic. We still don't fully understand it all because they kind of add to it as we go along.
Speak for yourself. Eric's got it fully figured out, and I've got it almost figured out.
And I've got you really cowered behind Eric's expertise there at the end there. Eric's got it, and I'm
that was not cowering. That was giving full respect to my guy, the head of research at ATB here, the Prince of Preparedness himself. I don't want to pretend that I'm on his level, Ryan. That would be disingenuous of me.
Does that make Eric the head of research and preparedness?
Yeah, and also development, because a lot of the things that we add are things that he pitches, so I think he should get that as well.
Bingo.
I'll take it.
We'll get the name plaque all ready to go. This story has been awesome. I know that some Strange fans don't love it because it's not normal status quo Steven stuff. As Asgard fans and Thor fans, we get to learn a lot more about the 9 realms through the lens of Derek Landy, and that in and of itself is a treat. His world building has really been a highlight of it, and this issue just continues that. So last issue, really, the thing we need to know for this issue is that Verboten has targeted the children of the 9 realms. He already killed the anchorites in heaven, who were the way that the angels reproduced, and there's no other way around it. He killed all the guys in heaven.
He unalived all the guys in heaven. Hey, that was good. Good job. There you go.
Thinking internet.
So come on, internet.
So at the end of last issue, though, Stephen and Angela went to Vanaheim to find an ancient artifact that we still don't know a lot about, because this issue focused on what happened next, where Stephen and Angela get called to Svartalfheim, the realm of the Dark Elves, because the angels of heaven have declared war on the Dark Elves because they perceive them as kind of, I guess, guarding Verboten. They want to go get Verboten, but at the beginning of this issue, we actually learned that they're after the same thing. So, guys, that bringing us up to speed for Doctor Strange number 4. Faz, do you want to give our qualifier before I jump into the breakdown?
What kind of qualifier do you need, Ryan? That you're not
will this not involve spoilers?
Oh, I think we did that at the beginning. Unless we're going to break this up into 2 pieces, but yeah, listeners,
yes.
Listeners and viewers, we are going to spoil this issue. We're also going to talk about how beautiful the art is and how manga inspired it seems to be. So just get fired up all the way around. But yes, there will be spoilers. Strange looks great. Angela looks great. Everybody looks great, and we're going to spoil the heck out of it.
All this anime goodness. So written by Derek Landy, artist Yvonne Fiorelli, a fan favorite of us here on ATV. A color artist by Dono Sanchez O'Mara. VC's Corey Pettit is the letterer. Another fantastic like D&D monster manual cover from Alex Horley. Fantastic art there. And I just wanted to make this one connecting thing because I'm looking at the credits now and I realize this book is edited by longtime Thor assistant editor Alana Smith.
Oh,
So that is one of those things where I'm like, oh, she was kind of schooled in Thor stuff. So I don't know. It kind of makes me feel better that like a Will Moss editor is at the helm here. So jumping into this issue, we see the clash of the Angels and the Dark Elves, and Stephen kind of asserts himself, where he's like, "I am the, I am the all-knowing Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard," and gets everybody to calm down a little bit, and they have a discussion about why each faction is there. The Dark Elves are there because they're trying to stick up for the children of Svartalheim, and the Angels are getting retribution on Verboten for the death of their regent queen and for the anchorites. So they both want the same thing. They both want Verboten defeated. They both want him gone. And they kind of step on each other's toes where the Angels are like, well, they killed the regent, and the Dark Elves are like, don't care. You kind of invaded our realm to do this. So there's logistics in here that get really messy. And we'll talk a little bit about this later, but was Dragthorn the leader of the Dark Elves in this issue? I am obsessed with his look. Obsessed.
steal that
Looks like
look,
General
Ryan.
Grievous from Star Wars.
Yeah, steal
A
that
little
look.
bit.
So we get all on the same page, and there's a plan that we will all go in at the same time, and we'll kind of all get what we want. There's sympathy on the Dark Elves side. I loved that we got to see a little bit of softness to the Dark Elves because we're so used to seeing Malekith's version of the Dark Elves. It was nice to see this more logical, rational side of them. And Riala, the now kind of de facto leader of this angel army in lieu of her mom, they get on the same page. And Angela is really the moderator here. She's the one that is able to get people all on the same page. She kind of puts Stephen in his place and brings a little bit more perspective to the conversation. They all get on the same page, and then they bust down the door and they attack all the sides. While the Angels and the Dark Elves are fighting upstairs, Angela and Riala go fight the Dark Daughter, who is the dark mirror alternate of Riala. Stephen goes after Verboten. Stephen and Verboten have a magical sorcerer fight, and Stephen has a great line where he compares magic to music, and that you may not like a certain kind of music, but it just gives you more of a reason to use the magic you know. And so he uses the magic he knows to fight this battle with Verboten. And in the fight with Riala and Angela, the Dark Daughter gets the upper hand and is able to stab Riala. And then, instead of her just dying, the Dark Daughter assimilates the two of them together, and creates this hybrid, which was striking. I loved the design of this new character. I don't know if she's going to have a different name or whatever, but Angela's kind of just in shock at what has just happened. And then we end this issue with Verboten revealing that this is not his only layer. He has let me get the number correct. He has 1,220 layers, and he has at least 96 sides per layer, which the numbers seem random. I'm sure they mean something to Derek Landy.
It probably means something to Eric, who will have done the research.
Yeah. So that face is perfect. And then Stephen does some quick math, which good on you, Stephen. He wasn't just paying attention in health class. He says that's over 117,000. And Verboten says, yeah, that sounds about right. And then we see this giant army of scythes flying from all different sorts of looking scythes from all across the Nine Realms. And that is how we end the fourth issue of Doctor Strange, with Verboten swearing that he will kill all of the children of the Nine Realms.
Unalive.
I apologize. I read it as it was written in the comic. But wow, Eric, do you want first crack at this? Because you did get excited when I mentioned the numbers.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate a little numerology, but I didn't read that far into it.
Okay.
It's an impressive number of numbers. I mean, what you
Yes.
could say 1220, that's maybe the end of the Viking era, and 96 starts with a 9, and 9 is a sacred number in Viking lore, but that's about as far as I got with it.
Heck
So.
yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I really like all the Doctor Strange spells. I liked his oh my gosh, I can't pronounce this. Tepilix wicked contortions, and he's like, Verboten's like backbend. Oh man, like,
Actually, this feels quite nice.
actually, I didn't think you had it in you.
Like,
This
oh,
is
I
a
haven't
great
been
form of
stretched like
torture.
this in 100,000 years. This feels so good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I really like because Doctor Strange has such a cool look. He has such cool magical artifacts and tech. Again, I love the like skeleton bone gloves. I want to get a pair of these to wear
Yeah.
around in the winter. Like that's so cool.
That'll go really
The
well
co-
at your job, eh? Skeleton
Yeah, it would
skeleton
go
gloves
great.
like that. Yeah. Okay.
The coloring is amazing. He's like when he is shattering the ground and this plume of purple blue fiery smoke is pushing Verboten up into the air. I love the Doctor Strange action because a lot of times in this like run so far, it's been Strange is the point of view character and he's there to drive the exposition, but he's sort of like playing detective and watching this stuff play out, but he's not
Yeah.
the center focus a lot of times. The center focus is with these regents and these angels and all these other players that are being betrayed or having children or all these. It gets very family tree, I think is the term that we used in one of the previous episodes. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff you got to like go through and learn about, which is again, it's a credit to Landy's world building, but it takes the spotlight off of I could do with a little bit more strange introspection, strange fight scenes, because that's why we're here. It's a Doctor Strange book. But again, I can't be mad at the Angela with her giant belt. She looks amazing. Angela is such a fun character, and I'm glad that we get to see her outside of just a Pride Month issue here and there. She's getting a nice long run, getting a
Yeah.
lot of things to do. So it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the art is fantastic, and we get so much story here. I love to just hey, let's just put down our differences and bum rush this shack because the guy's in there. Let's go break down the door. Come on, like
Yeah. Yeah. Truly, I love that you said bang for your buck, because there's so much in these issues every time, and I keep waiting for Derek Laney to be like, this month I just kind of want to sit in a small little
this is
story.
more of like a one note like kind of scene. Like nope,
No, absolutely not. That will not be happening. Faz, what were your kind of initial thoughts? Maybe something you want to like dig into
Yeah. Well, like
from the issue.
just like you guys said, like every page has so many panels, it feels like, and has so much stuff happen. It's not just 7 panels to show one reaction to something. Like the plot moves every time. Landy is Al Ewingian in the way that he's packing a lot of content in there, and Fiorelli is doing a great job just filling it all out. Like the amount that he draws on these pages, guys, like you would be forgiven if he was mailing in backgrounds or something to make it work, and he's just not. He's just going all out the
Yeah.
whole time, which is crazy. My favorite thing of the issue is the Dark Daughter Riala combo. It's
Yes.
really cool looking. I don't know what to compare it to in the comics. It's like a dark Valkyrie. It reminds me of in the mobile games that Marvel had. They created kind of a Sharon Rogers, like Stephen Peggy's
Huh.
daughter, and she looks like this. So that's kind of it's a
Okay.
similar looking style. I doubt it was inspired by it, but it's really cool. The sword is cool. I can't wait to see kind of what we get when the potential is met with the actual to find out what this Riala person will be if they're going
Yeah.
to end up leading the Angels. I'm still intrigued on if Angela is going to claim her birthright by the time this is over. It's a lot of fun. So much happens. I'm really in. I feel bad for the Strange fans who just want their normal status quo, but I'm really enjoying this like new thing, this new way of looking at him, playing around in the Nine Realms. And I think the last thing I want to say is they managed to do the Dark World Dark Elves and
Yeah.
make it really fun. Like even in Jason's run, he had them look like that and then take all that stuff off to do the fun depraved Malekith stuff. But here they look like that and it's okay. And they look really cool like this. And I gotta give them a lot of
Yeah.
respect for that, that like this is how they look when they're in their like traditional battle gear. So we're gonna use it and it looks great.
Yeah, just to piggyback on those last two things you said, Faz, those are my favorite parts of the issue, being the Dark Daughter Riala combo. Like, again, we don't know what to call her yet. If we're gonna be calling her a different thing, the design is so cool.
And she's absolutely your type too, Ryan. That's exactly what your kind of comic girls. That is what you go for.
I'm not gonna lie, that's true.
Yeah.
But she's no Sister Sorrow.
No,
yet,
but who could be? You know, give her time.
If you're not an avid like Thor reader and you don't like read the low key one shots that were from like what was it? Bring on the Bad Guys last year.
Yeah.
Sister Sorrow ruined some people's lives in a very positive way. So I think this combo is so like her sword's badass. Her look, she doesn't have the wings. I noticed that she doesn't have the wings yet. She's got like some shoulder wear that look like short wings, but I'm wondering, is she gonna be like a chaotic good? Is she gonna be like a lawful good, or just straight chaos? Because she clearly doesn't like Verboten.
Do they cancel out? Was the Riala more positive than she was negative or something?
Right. Like, she may not, I could definitely see her as a character not being like fully aligned with Strange and Angela. You're like, I'm not like a good guy. And I could see Angela chuffing at being called a good guy. But then I also don't see her being like, oh yeah, but I'm like still siding with this elf sorcerer that, created me out of nasty potential energy and also killed my mom. I could almost see her being a third party that helps with the defeat of Verboten, but doesn't then just become like a goody two shoes good character. But either way, I already want to see more of her, and I don't want her to just be one of the characters where it's like, well, we heated up this character for the storyline and then we didn't do anything with her. She's already like, we've already known Riala for a few issues now, and I don't want her character development just to die in the fourth issue. Because that's how I felt like when Gallifreyon was there for one issue.
Rest in peace,
Like,
Gallifreyon.
He's still alive. He's in the back to tank or
He's
something.
in the
Yeah,
back.
fair enough. He just said, well, we have to get enough unalives of the enemy team, and we'll be able to respawn him. That's all we're waiting for.
The other thing, speaking of new characters, like Derek is doing this thing where Derek, like we're on the first name basis. Derek Landy is doing this thing where he's introducing interesting characters, like in these very quick ways, and I automatically just kind of like gravitate to them. Like Dragthorn is freaking awesome.
Good job.
His design is better than Malekith ever was.
Okay.
bold,
That is extraordinarily fake news.
I said design.
Ryan, do you remember the Walt Simonson version of Malekith the Accursed? Do you remember
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when he climbs out of hell with one L and comes back in the Jason Aaron run? Malekith looks gorgeous in those scenes. This guy's cool. He is not better than Malekith ever was. Let's hold your horses.
I didn't say better. I said his design is better.
No, his design is not better than Malekith's.
He's General Grievous mixed with the Predator.
You are fake news, my friend. Don't make me kick you off your own podcast. I have the all force. I can do it. The Faz Force will let it happen.
I am a Dragthorn fanboy as of this moment.
Look.
And if he ends up leading the Dark Elves, I'm all for it.
No one leads the Dark Elves until Malekith comes back. That's the way it works. Maybe he can keep the seat warm for him, but let's not kid ourselves. He's cool looking. I'll give you that. I was with you when you said he's cool like Grievous. In the same way that Grievous isn't the ultimate evil of that movie, Dragthorn just doesn't have it compared to the fun Joker-esque, flamboyant, hair-flying Malekith. We can't compete with that.
He doesn't have it yet.
He won't have it. He will not compete with Malekith the Accursed, Ryan. You're kidding yourself.
I did not say that.
If you said Verboten, we could at least have an argument. But you didn't say Verboten.
Verboten's cool.
Verboten's cool.
He is cool. I'm just saying Verboten is like he's a different version of Malekith.
I can't believe I have to cancel you on your own podcast. This is brutal.
He's a sadistic magic user.
He's a Yu-Gi-Oh version of Malekith.
Yeah, he is.
He is oh god, what's the character's name? In like the second or third season.
Like Pegasus.
Oh god. No, he's
hair.
not Pegasus. He's oh god. I'm the worst.
Yeah, you are. I agree.
I love I love me some Dragthorn.
YouTube folks, if you're not used to
awesome.
our little thing, it's a lot of fun to go against Ryan and for Eric and I to support each other in these sorts of things and really go at him. So like if you're enjoying this, it's easy because Eric and I usually agree and we're also always right. So if you want to hear us talk more, it's a great thing to do. Like stick around, you'll have some fun with us.
I'm just saying, the more Yvonne Fiorelli draws this character, the more I will be invested.
But Derek Landy is very exceptional at making well-rounded, fleshed-out characters and then killing them off willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So don't get too attached. Like,
oh, believe me, I learned my Gallifreyon lesson. I know he's not dead. He's been back to tanked for now. But
even in all the Strange of Asgard characters, like they could have a whole miniseries come out and have them come back. Like,
yeah, to piggyback
I missed
on
them.
that,
I want to know what they're up to. I missed them.
Yeah, we met so many cool different people and characters, and I'm just like, Derek, I love that you're building all these characters that we love. Can we see them more, please?
No, we can't.
It's like we're children of divorce, and it's like, I want to hang out with Dad every once in a while. Dad's kind of cool. And Derek's like, no, you don't live there anymore. That got really dark. I'm so sorry.
Eric, honestly, I'm not allowed to swear, and you just really aggressively went away.
I made
with
that
this,
way sadder than it ever needed to be.
Now, Ryan,
I want the rom-com writer in the bar back in Asgard.
Since we're doing YouTube, we can do this now. You're telling me that this character design is not cooler than your guy.
You're shifting the narrative. You said Walt Simonson,
and then I said Malekith climbing out of the pit. This is a Malekith climbing out of the pit for Jason Aaron's run, which was the second example I gave. Look at this and tell me that you can compete with your guy. General Grievous. Cool. Look at this. Look at this guy. You're gonna tell me this one's not cooler. This is a great clip for YouTube Shorts, in case you're wondering. Look at this right now.
It's a different kind of cool.
No, you're wrong. It's a different kind of cool. It's okay. You've been defeated. It's time to back up and apologize that you did this. It's fine.
Wow, how noble of you to decide when I've been defeated. Eric, is there another part of this issue you would like to zero in on before we pass it back to Faz and he beats me over the head with my take?
I like the where was it? This is really great video content. Me flipping through my book here.
I'll get over it. We're lovable enough.
Yeah.
I like the fight scenes. That's an awful lot of wings to draw, and I would go crazy trying to do this much hair and feathers and crank out a book in a month. I mean, that's just so much work. I think this is the book I was thinking of when I was looking through here, and I was just like, can you imagine as I'm flipping through these pages, each one of these pages is like somebody's 8-hour day.
Yeah. It's nuts.
So just it's super impressive. I kind of want to know more about Fiorelli's process and see how is he working, because he's even like you said, the backgrounds, some of the details.
It has to be digital, right? He wouldn't. There's no way he has time to do this entirely traditionally. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think also his style kind of lends to digital because it I know we keep saying anime, but it is a lot of thick lines. It's a lot of it's a lot of not like detailed like hatch work on like the faces and stuff, but if you look in the background, there's like Eric said, there's just like there's so much detail in there. Like how did this not take you a day every time?
They're in the basement of a hut. Like they're in a castle. They're in like a dungeon. They're in all these places. It's not just like blank backgrounds. Yeah.
He is kind of becoming a dream interview because Eric and I have been reading his stuff through like what New Champions, and he's done a few. He did a few issues of Avengers, I think. But like, I really do enjoy his style because it's a different kind of comic, and it kind of gives me those Saturday morning cartoon feels. Like if Asgard had a Saturday morning cartoon that was in like a Yu-Gi-Oh style, this is what it would look like, and I'm okay with all of that.
Strange kind of looks like the 90s Batman animated.
Yeah,
right? It's
he
like,
does.
Oh yeah,
the facial expressions and like the hard lines. Like, yeah, a little
Baz,
bit.
did you have any other
Yeah, obviously.
final thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. Starting with this.
Not about me.
You're really gonna say that this guy isn't as
No,
cool looking as your other one? That's right. We brought Walt Simonson as
you're
Malekith.
right. Actually, I will definitively say Dragthorn is cooler than that jester-looking dork.
You're taking that position seriously?
I don't know. I feel like if we don't fight about it, you're gonna make me fight about it.
This is where you respectfully admit that you were wrong because you haven't read the book in a while, not where you try to double down because you read this last week.
This is where I quote Michael Scott and say, "I regret nothing."
All right.
Yeah, Ryan, if you had been reading every Thor comic in order, which viewer Faz and I are doing on
Go on, Eric, continue.
the Deific Duo's Journey into Mystery: Road to 800, we are reading every Thor comic in order, going all the way back from Thor's first appearance all the way through issue 800, which should be dropping later this year. It's not too late to jump on this bandwagon, and you can listen in on our podcast reviews as we go through in like 100 issue chunks, like a massive 60-year-long book club. So check it out.
You guys are going to love it.
That's a good way to pitch that.
That's a great pitch. And listeners, you might have thought we were done shilling our stuff. We got so much more to shill. Don't even worry about it. So many little segments. We haven't even talked about Beyond the Bifrost yet. There's so much stuff to talk about.
The Across the Bifrost spinoff that Faz has taken full creative control of.
I don't know if you've noticed yet, but I actually have full creative control over the entire podcast. You don't quite have the feeling yet.
I did notice.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed. Oh God, I want to swear they're so bad. But Baz, do you have any other final thoughts about the issue? Because then I'll dig into the solicitation and we'll pontificate forward.
I think I'm good. I'm having a lot of fun with the series. I hope it keeps going. I hope it's selling well, so we get more of it. I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah. On that note about the continual sales, I think no matter when this run ends and more of the strange status quo returns, I do think that this so far will read really well as a trade.
Mm-hmm.
As a graphic novel, I think this would be a very fun, breezy read. And I think that's, Derek Landy and Von Fiorelli again. And Dono Sanchez Amara with the colors, he makes Fiorelli's art pop so well, and I love them in concert together. I think they definitely add strength to strength with that. So everybody, the solicitation for Doctor Strange #5 coming out in just a matter of weeks goes like this. As thousands of Verboten scythes flood the skies to attack the Nine Realms, Strange and Angela race to trap the Dark Wizard. But his right hand, the scythe counterpart of the Angel Riala, has combined with her double to become bigger, stronger, and deadlier than ever. Can Strange and Angela defeat the two as the fate of the Nine Realms hangs in the balance? Dun, dun, dun. Any predictions for where we're headed, guys? I feel like we may not be heading towards the defeat of Verboten, but we're headed towards something big with all of those scythes coming this way.
Yeah, I think it's something that you kind of mentioned a little bit. It's that this Riala form is going to be like a loose cannon third variable, and it's going to be Verboten versus Riala, and she's going to kind of like take him out. And unfortunately for the story, I think Strange is going to kind of be like watching this all happen instead of Strange being the one to like strike the final blow. And so I think it's, Strange is going to be involved in this kerfuffle, but I think ultimately they're going to maybe kind of nuke each other and just be, I don't know, like take each other out that way.
Huh. Okay. Faz, do you have any other
so
assumptions or things you want to predict?
I just read this. I just read the solicits for the ones after this, so I got to be careful. But I think that, similar to what Eric said, this new reality character is going to be kind of what turns the table. But I think that because it's a Strange book, they're going to let him do the final thing. She's going to do something to like distract him or hold him back as he's about to take out Strange, and it'll allow Strange to then finish the job one way or the other. That's what I think.
Okay.
Or maybe Angela
like
will cut his head off. That's possible too.
Finish him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get a Mortal Kombat sequence at the end of this. Well, yeah, man, 2 fantastic comics. Loved them both. A lot of fun. I feel like we got a lot of 9 Realms. We got like a 9 Realms workout, Eric. Would it be fair to say that we worked most of the parts of the body today? We got stronger. And it was nice to see different realms of our larger world working together in certain parts, where we see dark elves teaming up with angels. We see fire giants and ice giants coming to an agreement on something. It kind of feels like we're in like a reverse War of the Realms situation, where it's like, oh my god, are we actually working together? This is nuts.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
And that makes me just real quick, in the letters section in Thor, Al Ewing did say, somebody was like, I'd love to see Doctor Strange crossover. And he I think he basically confirmed a cameo is coming with Strange in a Thor book.
Check out the solicitation for Strange 7 if you want to see how things are going to cross over.
Well, okay, I'll have to check that out then.
Wowzers.
And that he was talking about how he had to check with basically the writer and the editor to make sure that like nothing was going to get messed up with Asgard, because he's like, well, if we're both in Asgard or both in the 9 realms at the same time, let's make sure that like one of the realms isn't like on fire when someone else visits there.
Yeah. Well, and it's remained pretty clean, because we've stayed off of realms in Doctor Strange where the Magni adventures are happening. And even when we saw the arrow going through the other 9 realms, it's not like we were like, oh, we're on Jotunheim and like, Laufey's still there. Well, clearly that's not true.
I think it's clear that when they do their creative retreats, the people that are in the Asgardian part of Marvel are working in tandem. And when you read those solicits, you will agree with me in that. I think they're in close contact to make sure that everything makes sense as they build to one big meta narrative that they're going towards.
And it also helps that the on that point, Faz, it also helps that the Asgard corner of Marvel is not that big. It's not like you have to, be like, okay, everybody writing an X book.
I see. I was like, Ryan, there's like 10 realms. What are you talking about? But yeah, you're right.
I mean,
two books is easy. Yeah, 2 guys have to get in a room. Yeah.
All 20 X-Men creative teams get on this group chat. It's like, hey, the 3 of you that are writing vaguely Thor-related stories, here's where we're going.
Two of which are Al Ewing too, because the Hello one and and the Thor one is Al.
For some reason, I just see Al Ewing being a guy like he would argue with himself.
Yeah, 100% he would. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, this was fun chat. So I feel like we plugged things already, but let's run through it one more time. I'll take a crack at it. I'm a little rusty. But everyone, if you want more, we have Patreon. We have pre-games on there. Like Faz said, we're going to be experimenting with some video stuff, and want to kind of crawl before we run on that one. So we're going to do our best with that, get early audio out as soon as we can, and we're still going to be putting out stuff on Spotify, Apple, kind of wherever you're finding the audio only. And there's actually a feature where we can add audio only to YouTube as well. So if you're like, I don't want to look at these guys, first of all, your loss. But we can also do audio on YouTube.
We wouldn't blame you. listeners. If you prefer to be listeners and not viewers, I get it.
Wow.
I get it. Not everybody can rock
but
a Thor polo. Maybe you don't think I'm rocking it. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah.
like, yeah, he's wearing it, but like,
I mean, it's really more wearing him,
Ouch.
you know.
it's wearing him. But you can also check us out on Instagram. That's our main social media. Links will be in episode description, and you'll be able to check that out there. Also, the Patreon link is in the episode description. If you want to chat with us more and our merry band of weirdos over on Discord, the link is there in the episode description as well. And, for this one also, Baz, you mentioned our interview with Al Ewing. I think I'll include the link to our interview with Al here as well, because he gives a lot of great insight on world building and
honestly, Ryan, because
what Thor means to him.
Because YouTube is great, you should also include a link to the Deific Duo's Journey into Mystery: Road to 800, as well as anything else that we talked about beyond the Bifrost, any of our little aside things we got going on, because you can list it all there. And eventually, listeners and viewers, if we do this enough, we'll have them all set up in different playlists so that you can follow the particular story that you want to follow. Ryan loves organizing stuff, so I'm just giving him stuff to do. It'll force him to be busy making
Love
it all
it.
pretty, and then we're going to post 5 million shorts until we've got 1 million subscribers. It's gonna be great.
Ryan loves technology homework too. It's his favorite thing to do.
Did I just get a crap ton of assignments? I think I did.
It's due next week.
But no, actually, like Faz said, I am gonna slowly start to like put things on playlists. That way, if you want to dig into, say, for example, Eric and Baz's Journey to 800, which, like Eric said, is coming later this year.
It's not what it's called, but whatever.
Lord bear me strength. If you want to do that, we'll create playlists for that. But that all being said, everybody, we hope that no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether you are just trying to get angels and dark elves to hug and get on the same page, or whether you are an ice giant living in Muspelheim, or you are a fire goddess living in Jotunheim, whether any of this makes sense to you or not, we just hope you do one thing, and that is stay worthy.
Bum,
Bum, bum.
ba-dum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ba-dum-bum.